What happened the night Machine Gun Kelly called his fiancée Megan Fox with a loaded gun? Megan has stood by MGK's reckless behavior for years, but he finally did something that made her leave him. MGK attempted to end his own life with Megan on the phone.
I just snapped.
And even wilder than that, we found out what he had to do to get her back. Stay tuned, this is the real life story behind the tabloids.
I don't know why he would want to kill himself. He seems like someone who has his career, who is engaged to this very beautiful woman.
To a lot of people, Coulson, which is MGK's real name, was living a dream after he started dating Megan Fox.
The bigger you get, the more popular your music is, the more people want to chase you around and know about your personal life and talk about Megan.
She's the most compassionate person ever. Loves me for me and all my crazy. She said, "How do you feel?" And I said, "I'm lost." And she said, "Let's find you."
When you find people that come together, that whose souls have known each other, it's hard to ignore that kind of a connection.
But Coulson couldn't help but turn his fear of abandonment into a reality.
I came home last night and the person that I love wasn't here because I ran her away.
Why did she leave?
To answer that, we have to go back to the first person who abandoned him.
No, what about your mother?
She's a We had a good life before my mind bounced. But, everything just went really downhill.
The reason he hates her that much is because of the person she left him with.
I grew up with a father who would scream, fight, hit, and then sit down and make you listen to the Bible.
Me and him shared a bed together until I was 7th grade or something like that.
Just imagine having to be 12 years old and have to sleep in the same bed with your abusive alcoholic father.
And to get more insight on MGK, we consulted our archetypes expert.
What I saw was something like the monster archetype. It's an expression of how that person feels internally. And it often comes from some experience in childhood. It's rejection, being treated cruelly, especially by loved ones. You're rejected by the people who are meant to love you.
To cope with the pain of abandonment, Coulson got into drugs when he was just 11.
We got some mushrooms, got some ecstasy.
Coulson's dad didn't approve of that and kicked him out. Coulson cut ties with his dad at a time when he needed him the most.
When he needed him the most?
Yeah, when Coulson was just 18, he had a kid of his own.
I know that I know I'm not around as much, so that's why it's hard for you to warm up to people. Are you mad that I'm only gone?
Why was he gone all the time?
Coulson was struggling to balance his passion for music and being a good dad to his daughter Casey. Eventually, that hard work paid off and he blew up as MGK.
He is an amazing performer. It is a magic to him, he had a sparkle.
But Casey's acceptance was not enough. And it seems that the bigger MGK got, the more the media criticized him and the more he resorted to drugs to cope.
I wasn't getting the approval that I was seeking.
He's a pro at botching both punk and rap.
MGK's passionless lead vocals.
But that was nothing compared to the backlash he got when he started dating Megan Fox, because it seemed many people didn't think he was good enough for her.
Seriously, what are you doing with this dude?
Megan is beautiful and sweet, whereas MGK is a typical street rapper with a bullish image.
What most people don't know is she could see past the MGK persona he puts up because she knows what it's like to not be accepted as well. For years, Megan tried to change herself for her ex, Brian Austin Green.
Because I want to be an archaeologist. Brian hates it.
In her marriage to Brian Austin Green, Megan never felt like she could be herself, until she met Coulson.
In almost all her photos with Brian Austin Green, you see her pulling away from him in subtle ways, or she'll have her hand on his chest in a gesture that almost looks like, that's enough. And when you see her with Machine Gun Kelly, their body language is completely different. There's a closeness without a feeling of being smothered. He's always a little bit behind her, or they're side by side. And that's important because there's some matching qualities between these two that make the relationship work.
Now that he was with Megan, Coulson felt like he finally found the acceptance he was searching for. But less than a month after confirming their relationship, he got devastating news about his dad.
He was a big drinker. He was in the hospital for his liver, drank himself to,
drank himself to death, yeah.
I had this conversation with him, even though he was clearly checking out. And I was like, Dad, I love you so much, and I'm so sorry for how we lived this life together.
And after his dad died, Coulson spiraled because they were never able to heal their relationship.
I flew to my dad's apartment to clear all this stuff out. That f***ed me up even more because I couldn't get closure on it. And I started getting really dark.
And that takes us back to when he called Megan.
I go to cock the shotgun and the bullet, as it comes back up, the shell just gets jammed. Megan's like dead silent. That was kind of where I started realizing like something's not right.
Like, I don't know how Megan wasn't traumatized by that.
Right, and Coulson saw that as an opportunity for another chance at life.
Megan's like, there's two yous. And it was the same thing with my daughter. They simultaneously kind of came at me with this like, I don't want to like be talking to you through a veil anymore. I need to kick the drugs for real this time. Well, my girl was like the one who encouraged me to face my past, what it is that I'm running from.
My dad, his dad got like shot in the head when he was a kid in front of him.
Because he never took a chance to heal. All that stuff like came out on me as I grew up.
Coulson knew he had to break the cycle.
I've experienced so much in my life. She just has this walk, it's this pure like bounce. She's so excited for life. Like, I will take any amount of torture so that she can keep that forever. It's worth living for.
And when he came home and Megan wasn't there, he realized that he still needed to heal his relationship with the other person who had always accepted him.
The most important thing, and I forget this a lot of times, is it's about memories that you create with them.
We went to Costa Rica. It bound us together in a way. It confirmed a lot of things for us that I needed to know or I needed to feel. It opened a door for a lot of healing for me from a personal experience I had had with him that allowed us to heal moving forward.
By facing his past and healing himself, Coulson was able to be there fully for the people who had always loved and accepted him.
Yeah, sometimes we try to look for acceptance in all these different places, and we forget that there's people in our own lives that accept us for who we are.